All right, it's Monday, January 4th, 2021. And this is your weekly look at the latest Altos Research data that came in over the weekend for the entire US real estate market. Each week, Altos tracks every home for sale in the US, all the pricing, the changes in pricing, all the supply and demand, so that you can see those trends in the US housing market before it becomes available through the traditional media channels. It's the first week of the new year, and this is always a fun time to look for signals in the data. All the coolest Altos Research leading indicators start to make their moves in January. So stay tuned now, and the next few weeks is going to be fun. This will set up the whole first quarter, which really gives you an insight to the whole year of what's going to happen. Available inventory, of course, has been the story for the whole year. And January 1 is a great time to highlight the real deep crisis we're in. So we have just over 419,000 single family homes available in the entire country right now. That's down from last year's already record low of 763,000. I pulled this chart to show that just a few years ago, we would start the year with 1 million or more homes on the market ready for spring. So we're like 60% fewer homes on the market now than normal. As I've tried to point out before, this is not just a pandemic phenomenon. Every year for the last decade, we are losing purchasable inventory to rental. Single-family homes that would have been sold are now kept when the sellers are moving up or down, also in the institutional buyers. So interest rates have been super low for the whole decade, and it's been a really good deal to keep your home and rent it out. So 7 million Americans have made that choice in the last decade, and that's about 7% of the stock that comes out of the available inventory. And you can see the impact here year over year over year as it keeps happening. Total inventory, you can also see, will keep inching down each week for the next few weeks before that bulk of the spring inventory hits the market. My bet is we bottom like the first or second week of February, fewer than 400,000 homes, probably in that time frame, 399, 395, somewhere in there. And then the inventory will start coming in for the rest of the strong part of the first and second quarter. When we look at the new listings volume per week, the new year is always a trough, of course, and this year's no exception. We had 23,000 or so new listings this week. Next week, you'll see a sharp jump in the new listings volume. And you can see the New Year's column here, last 5 years of resets. The thicker column is the January 1 week each year. And so since our new listing volume is about normal, it really underscores that the market we're in is a demand-driven phenomenon. Like all the other booming financial markets, real estate seems untouched by any pandemic-related weakness, and it looks to continue the rest into this 2021. Finally, we see how that impacts prices. Single-family homes priced in the U.S. to start 2021 are at $338,000. We're finishing the year 10% higher than last year. Our price of new listings measure, which is, again, the smallest group of the year, is at $284,900. The new listings price will jump next week with the new inventory. We like to observe the slope of this jump each January to see how strong the price appreciation will be in the coming first quarter. So all signs are super bullish right now. Stick around for these videos in our big webinar next week, and we'll start diving into the greater detail. So that's the data for this week. Remember that next week we do have our monthly webinar where we dive more detail into the numbers. We also review the latest legislative decisions, some of the potential risk factors that we face in 2021. We also get to take the time to do some regional and local data. So if you're a realtor and you need to communicate with your buyers and sellers in 2021, then you should join this webinar. There's a link to register in the description below. That's next Wednesday, the 13th at 10 a.m. Pacific. You should join us. So that's all for now. Have a very happy and very prosperous new year. Thank you.